Hi folks, Mr. Zigner here. Today we're looking at long division, which is a method for dividing larger numbers into smaller steps. Our steps today are divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down. Don't worry, I'll walk us through all those steps. A fun way of remembering that is does McDonald's sell cheese burgers? All right, let's get started. The first one we're looking at is 932 divided by 4. I like to use this screen shade to help me. All right, here we go. First step is to divide. And what we're asking ourselves is, how many 4s divide into 9? Well, that would be 2. Okay, because 2 times 4 is 8. Now we subtract. 9 take away 8 is 1. What are we checking? Well, we're just checking to see if this answer we got, the 1, is smaller than 4. And yes, of course, 1 is smaller than 4. We're good to move to the next step, which is bring down. I'm going to move my screen shade over. That number is a 3. Now my 1 has become a 13. And we start our 5 steps all over again. Now, how many 4s divide into 13? Well, remembering our 4 times tables, that would be 3. Okay, so we divided, it goes in 3 times. Multiply, 3 times 4 is 12. And we subtract, which gets us 1. Then we check, is 1 smaller than 4? Absolutely. Now we can bring down the next number, which is a 2. So now our 1 has become a 12. Starting over, how many 4s divide into 12? Oh, well, exactly 3. Because 3 times 4 is 12. Now we subtract. 12 take away 12 is, of course, 0. Now we check. Is 0 smaller than 4? Of course it is. Now we can bring down the next number. Oh, except there is no other numbers to bring down, which means that we found our answer, the quotient to this problem. 932 divided by 4 is 233. You could check that by doing 233 times 4, and you will get 932. All right, can you see the different steps? Here are the different steps. The first one, the second one, and the third one. So again, long division just breaks a big division problem into smaller, easier steps. Next problem. Let's change colors, bring my screen shade over, and here we go. All right, divide. How many 4s divide into 2? Oh, well, none. 4 is too big for 2, so I'm just going to write a 0 here. And since I can't divide into the 2, I can just skip all these steps. Move my screen shade over. Now I have a 24. How many 4s divide into 24? Well, if you think about your 4 times tables, you'll realize quickly that's 6. Because 6 times 4 is exactly 24. Now we subtract. 24 take away 24 is 0. Okay, of course, checking that, 0 is definitely smaller than 4. Now we can bring down our next number, which turns out to be a 9. All right, second step, how many 4s divide into 9? Well, thinking about your 4 times tables, you can fit 2 without going over. So there's our 2 for dividing, and now multiply. 2 times 4 is 8. Next step is, of course, subtract. 9 take away 8 is 1. We check that. Is 1 smaller than 4? Absolutely. Now we can bring down the next number. Oh, except there are no more numbers. That means we have our answer. Our quotient is 62, but don't forget, we have this leftover 1 down here called the remainder. So really, we would say that our answer is 62 with a remainder, just write an R here for remainder, of 1. There we go. And that takes care of this one. Now I made a slightly harder one. Do pay attention to the steps and see if this is starting to make sense. All right, bring my screen shade across. let's see, maybe it was purple this time. How many 5s divide into 1? Well, none. So I'm just going to write a 0, and we'll skip all the steps, move on to the next number. Okay, 15. How many 5s divide into 15? Thinking about your 5 times tables, you'll realize that's 3. 3 times 5 is exactly 15. Subtract is next, and we get our 0. Don't forget to check. Well, that's an easy one. 0 is smaller than 5, so we can bring down our next number, which is a 2. And we start all over again. How many 5s fit into 2? Well, none. 2 is too small to be divided by 5. So I'm going to write a 0 and skip all those steps and just move over to the next number. Well, now I have a 5. Oh, forgot to draw my arrow when I brought down the 2. All right, here we go. How many 5s fit into 25? Well, that would be 5. Because 5 times 5, well, that's exactly 25. All right, looking good. Next step is subtract. 25 take away 25 is, of course, 0. We check. Well, yes, once again, 0 is smaller than 5. Looking good. We're ready to bring down our next number, which is a 3. All right. Now we ask ourselves, well, how many 5s fit into 3? Well, wait a minute. Once again, 3 is too small. So I can't divide 5 into 3. So that becomes a 0. And I just skip all my steps, slide the screen over again. Now we have a 0. So my 3 has become a 30. Well, how many 5s can divide into 30? Well, 5 divides into 30 exactly 6 times. Because when I multiply 5 times 6, I get exactly 30. And we subtract, and we get 0. 0 is once again checked off as smaller than 5. Ready to bring down our next number, except there is no more numbers. So it turns out the answer is, now you ignore this first 0, of course, and the answer would just be 30,506. So, oops, I put my comma in the wrong place. Oh, Mr. Zigner. So it would go here. Let me rewrite that. 30,506. Well, guys, I hope this video has helped. There are a lot of other videos out there on YouTube if you still need more help with long division. But I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye now.